Welcome to the Inquisitive Wren Podcast. I'm Shaw, your host. Join us as we explore diverse perspectives on the human experience, offering insightful interviews and deep reflections on philosophy, spirituality, psychology, from a bird's eye view on the essence of being. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Wren Podcast. This is a very special episode. It is a holiday wellness podcast episode. And during my meditation this morning, I was guided, I felt pulled, literally guided to do this episode. So here I am with no plans to record today, but I felt that many of you may be going through something over the holidays. And so this podcast episode is about staying positive, staying calm, and being stable over the holidays. So welcome to today's episode. And as the festive season unfolds, it's a time for celebration for many, but for some and for others, it can be a period of reflection, challenges, and even loneliness. No matter where you find yourself on, I would say, the emotional spectrum this holiday season, this episode is here to offer you tools, comfort, and encouragement to stay positive, calm, and stable. So remember, as we go through the highs and the lows, I like to use a mantra that has helped me throughout my life, and that is, a few bad days doesn't make a bad life. And also, of course, we know this universal message of this too shall pass, and this can be a guiding light for us during difficult times, but especially during the holiday season. Before we dive into the heart of today's discussion, I want to invite you to take a moment to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode filled with insights, tips, and reflections to support your personal growth. And if you find value in what you hear today, please share this episode with someone who might need it. Together we can spread hope and positivity during this holiday season. Now, let's get started on exploring ways to cultivate wellness and resilience over the holidays. The holidays can bring joy, but also challenges, especially for those who are alone or feeling lonely. Perhaps you have people around you, but you're still feeling lonely, or you could be going through very difficult times. It could be a job situation, family difficulties, illness, isolation, financial worries, living conditions, separation or divorce, empty nest, exams, breakups. You could be separated from children, or you have no children, or you could have everyone and everything in place, but you suffer from depression or another mental health problem. And this time of year exacerbates the issues. Something like even mild OCD symptoms can become magnified over time when everyone is relaxing, doing their own thing, and you have no control over anyone's actions. I mean, we never do, but especially now, everything may seem as though it's in 3D. It'll be amplified. So the key message here is a few bad days doesn't make a bad life. So when you're feeling this way, you tend to superimpose all those negative views onto and over onto your entire life. So I'm going to break this down into segments. I feel as though this is the best way to help you and to keep it into bullet points. So in segment 1, we want to understand the holiday blues. So we're going to talk about the common reasons why people feel down during the holidays. One of those reasons is unrealistic expectations or even pressure to be joyful. People may be getting very jolly, they'll have their libations, The music will be flowing and playing, there's good food, but you may still not feel great. You may not feel like laughing. Maybe those jokes that come in the Christmas crackers, they're bad at the best of times, but now they sound even worse. I actually find them quite funny. They're so bad, they're funny. But you may find that you've got expectations that are actually quite unrealistic. It's quite natural to feel a bit of pressure, whether you are hosting this year or you're going to someone's house. You still have that pressure of what gift do you take to them? Do you take a gift? Well, you should take a gift, but what gift do you take to them? And also maybe a pressure to be joyful, to laugh, and to compliment the host on everything. So try and be aware of unrealistic expectations. I mean, of course, do your best. Be a really good guest. Be the guest that has the mostest, and your host will be trying to be the host with the mostest. So just do what you can. The second thing is financial stress. Now, especially this time of year, you may be aspiring to buy gifts that you cannot afford, or even gifts for yourself that don't make a lot of sense at the moment. So you've got to be very realistic and you've got to be brutal with yourself. The other thing about financial stress is you may tend to, especially this time of year, apply for extra credit for things. Now, this makes no sense whatsoever. Because you're going to be paying a lot more for whatever you buy on a credit card because of the interest. And secondly, you may even begin to resent the fact that you try to get somebody something and now you've put yourself in debt. So try and be realistic as you can about that. Financial stress is very real. So have a budget, keep a budget. Always know, make a list of things, shop around, do your online research, and buy what you can. I recently saw this beautiful vintage diary in a shop. It was still in the box, never been used, and it was only £3. Now, I have to say, I saw it and I wanted it for myself, but immediately, I mean, within seconds, I thought, oh no, I thought of a friend. I know a friend who would absolutely adore that. And that's who it's going to. I just said to the universe, guide me to things that will help and bless other people. And that's exactly what happened. I know, I mean, I'm already anticipating her reaction. I know it will be. I've known her for over 30 years. She will be over the moon. So the second thing is missing loved ones. So you'll start to miss your loved ones even more this time of year, especially people like parents or the elder generation, aunties, uncles, grandparents, those people who have maybe passed on. You'll begin to miss those, and you could even begin to feel isolated. One thing I always do around this time of year is I light a candle for special people in my life who have passed on to spirit. I miss them dearly. And so I light a candle. I use colors that may have been their favorite color. I might even buy a perfume that they loved and wear it myself. I try and do things that are significant to the relationship that I had with the relative. And for me, something very poignant, powerful is lighting candles. And you could also do this in your religious organization. I grew up Catholic, so this time of year we try and go to midnight mass. Different things like rituals, and midnight mass is just amazing with the singing and the smells and the ritual and the robes and the it's just amazing. So I love it. It fills my soul. I don't go every year, but we do try and go. Midnight mass is special. So I always light a candle for each relative at mass. And the other thing you could do is you could ask your religious organization to put their name on the list. So there's a healing list in spiritual churches around the nation. I'm a medium, so I have stood on platform at spiritualist churches. You can put people's name on a healing list or on a dedication list. And so even at a synagogue, you can do all of that. And I'm not quite sure what the process is in a Baptist or Pentecostal church, but look to do things that mean something for you and mean something to, or would mean something to your relative. The fourth thing that I want to bring to your attention is SAD, seasonal affective disorder, or shorter daylight hours. Now, this is a real condition. It's a mental health condition, and it's a type of depression, and it only occurs during autumn or winter time. This is when the clocks fall back and it's darker earlier in the morning and darker sooner in the afternoon. So you may feel different things like you want to be isolated, you become even more depressed. You may have trouble thinking clearly or positively. Everything will seem dark, down, horrible. You may even feel out of breath or out of energy, so fatigued or lacking, lethargic. You may feel different body pains. You may have an increase in appetite or a significant decrease in appetite. There is less sunlight during those days, so melatonin is affected. It's a sleep-related hormone. And so there are chemical changes in the brain. I believe our bodies anticipate these seasonal changes, but it doesn't mean your mental health knows how to deal with them. And the last thing to be aware of is that if you're already prone to negative thoughts and tendencies, they will rise up around this time of year. So if you suffer from something like jealousy or envy, those feelings will multiply and become bigger and stronger this time of year. So you will have to take special precaution to perhaps not scroll the internet and watch everybody's shopping hauls or people's setups in their homes, in their big, beautiful homes, if you don't live in one. And even if you do, you may still envy that they have a family or that they appear to be happier than you, than what you perceive to be. One thing to always remember is that you will have to, around this time of year, you'll be very prone to anything external. So your focus will be on what's outside of you. And the focus on what's inside of you will be the negative part. And so please focus on both. One is to limit your scrolling, your internet use. So you could you could look at how much time you spend on the internet and limit that and be brutal about it. And also to look inside. Now is not the time. This time of year when you're going through it, now is not necessarily the best time to look at how you're going to remedy it or the future or solve it permanently, because there are things you can do to do that. People have gotten over SAD. The best time to do this is after this is passed. So we're looking at springtime when things are much better, or summer. We're looking at the other seasons for this. And lastly, normalize these feelings. Know that they are real feelings and you're not alone in experiencing them. It can take one bad negative experience to make you spiral down a black hole of negativity, darkness, and hopelessness.